If you're like me, you're probably wondering what in the world happened with the Honda Civic and did that fix and solve the issue that was going on with it. And lo and behold, I'll tell you a quick story of a failure. Basically drove it 50 miles, doing perfectly fine. Next thing you know, it just cut out of nowhere on the way to work. So back in here, it actually gave me a code that's usable in here, but unfortunately, it is a code that is the first thing that shows up on Google as the dreaded P0335 Honda code. So that code basically says that there's a issue with the wiring that I'm gonna have to actually attack. Now, well, I need to attack the wiring on this job. Right, so now that this is in full service mode on the hood there, and it is jacked up, I need to actually get the tire off. So I shake the tire to check for any kind of looseness. I mean, obviously with 4 lug nuts out of 4 off of there, it's gonna be loose. But before that, that's where you get your vibrations from. So it's a safety issue. Up there, that right there is the crank position sensor, and as you can see, a little bit of zoom in here, you can really see that it is oil covered. And you might actually even notice that the wiring harness has been already mended of some sort. So I think one of those connections went bad right there. Without your crankshaft position sensor, I don't think it's going to run very well, if at all. Let's go. So I've assessed the problem, and I've noted to myself that I actually can work on this above the car and not so much below, down there where the actual other light is shining down there. Oil ruins plastic, but yeah, so once I got that out of there, I was able to unplug one more sensor on the backside, which I have no idea at this point what that is, but the extra sensor that I have no idea what that is this one that's all nice and oily. Then this one with the cap on it is going to be the one for the camshaft position sensor right up there. I removed all that, and now I'm able to actually work up here in the top of the bay, so that works out. But this is exactly what I was talking about, is that these have been repaired. This one is like super tight, the orange one, super tight in there. But I'm going to cut that shield off of there, the shrink tubing, and start looking for something more apparent, and then I'm going to start testing for continuity. Yay! But with the symptoms that I've had, with the code that I had, with the way that it drove, and then seeing this, like it's all coming into play all together. So hopefully just this area is bad. I'm going to cut it back a little bit more on this, because this doesn't have that usual slit in it that you can kind of bring the wires out of on. So I got to cut this or whatever, and then start testing for continuity in between there, because I think it's a bad pigtail, and then yeah, we'll just go from there, because yeah, I'll see what's going on up under here. And the first wire that I go to take this off of, it doesn't have enough, it's not wrapped around enough to actually even let me pull that little bit, and this actually started sliding apart. I think there's some, I don't know if that's duct tape. It's so hard, it feels like plastic, and there's a break. Okay, well, one issue is going to be that definitely right there. If you can you see it? That's not good. That's not how you repair a wire either. So one by one, I'm gonna start messing with these, trying to figure out. It seems like this orange one I was talking about before, or brown with a yellow stripe, this one right here, it seems like it's super tight and everything. So I don't think it's gonna be that one. Questionably this yellow with black, but this right here, that's not good. So I'm gonna go cut this off of here. Oh my good, look at that. Would you looky there? Can you see that? That is, Yeah, that's horrible. It's like you got a little bit of like bubblegum solder. Didn't do too well at the very bottom here, just the tiniest little wire. Probably because they didn't want to actually cut back the other wire and make it, so there's less stress on one or the other. It's all even. So wonderful. At least, finding this is a definite probability to having it fixed like really soon. So I'm going to try my best to cut that back and get some fresh metal and connect it a good cheap way, and see if I can get that to stay, because I'd have to say, I mean, without checking the other wires, that right there is probably where the connectivity lost, and it just wanted to not start and run rough, for that matter. I think it went into its own Honda limp mode kind of thing. I don't know. It was all chuggy and didn't really want to run. So yeah, wonderful. Now I'm gonna, yeah, like I said, I'm gonna chop that wire and get some fresh on there and make the repair. Let's go. Well, and there you have it. I just got done repairing this. So this is my repair. As you can see, there was definitely some issues. I don't know if you caught that on the hyperlapse there, or time lapse if you want to call it that, but I mean, my goodness. Okay, so no, not good. So that was all there. There was two loose wires. There's a bunch of, like, this is electrical tape, and it feels like plastic. It literally feels like a 20-ounce, bottle or whatever. So that's all stripped out of there. I got it all nice and, electrical duct tapes. There's obviously other shields that I could put up there or whatever, but I don't have any extra right now. I don't think. If I find some around here, I'll definitely sling some on here or whatever, but overall, this is what I would call as fixed. So, especially with an apparent problem. So, I am going to go ahead and clear the code for this and drive it again. I do think that it did have a bad crankshaft position sensor, but I also think that obviously, I just want to say the crankshaft position sensor was about 20% of the problem. This is going to be 80%, if not 90, because doesn't matter how good your crankshaft position sensor is if it can't get read correctly. So I didn't even really have to backtrace anything. It was just all pretty much just doing this and tearing it down and seeing the fact that it was just busted wire after busted wire in a really critical area, because I really feel like you need your crankshaft position sensor to run properly. So I am going to put all these these three sensors back together, because there's 1, 2, and 3, and I'm going to put those back on there, clean it up, and clear the code. I think this one might actually be 100% done. Like, I thought of it that way before, but obviously with that showing up and the new code or whatever, that definitely correlates with what was going on. And yeah, this is looking a lot better than what it was, that's for damn sure. Keeping in mind that I don't want to go get a new wiring harness. Even the wiring, pigtail that you get off of Amazon that is brand new with 3 wires that, you can tie back into or whatever, that's not bad for $7-8, I think it was, that I seen it on there for. But I think it was actually under 20. Maybe it was under 20. I don't know. Under $20 for a pigtail. But yeah, this is a common issue, I guess, with the Honda. And obviously, if you're not looking into wires and things like that, which isn't the first thing everybody goes for, including myself, then it does, correlate, and this will definitely mess up your drivability. So yeah, awesome. Thank you guys for watching again. Hopefully I'm gonna get this all back together and started, and I will definitely let you know if there's any issues in the future with this. I really don't see it being that. I mean, I know I got to go back in there for the crankshaft position or crankshaft seal on the front side, and like I said, this valve cover is warped of some sort, so it's leaking out of a few edges. But overall, I like it, and there's not much maintenance left to do on this. But something that I did notice while I was up under here, just stare right there at that ball joint, because the ball joint is supposed to pivot, but it's not supposed to technically move. And while I was down here, which is what I was talking about, always checking while every time you take off your wheel or something like that, just check to see if it's actually, you know, doing right. Can you see that little bit? Let me zoom in for you. Yeah. So that is a bad ball joint because that has play in between there, up and down. That's coming up really soon. And I, as always, super appreciate everybody. If you haven't subscribed and you want to be, please do. I super appreciate all the subscriptions and everything. I want to make this channel something where I give back more than, let's just say, some of the other YouTubers. I'm not just trying to collect all the way, but I do need you guys' help of getting to at least 500 subscribers. So if you could and you haven't already, please subscribe, like the video, share with your family if you want, or friends if it makes any kind of sense to what they're doing, or just because you like watching. I super appreciate everything that you do. Until next time, I'll see you guys later.